Morning, everybody. Another beautiful day. Another beautiful day. Hope you have your Java ready to get going. Thursday, May 5th. All right. So, day 2 of Hand of Fate 2, which was a lot of fun yesterday. I'm really excited to jump back in. It's good to see everybody. I hope your day is going very well. Let's do what we do and hop into our gaming news segment first, yeah? Cool. Let's do it. We ready? Gaming news. Let's see what we can find. Trending new we haven't already talked about in previous days, yeah? All right, DDR5 is relevant finally for PC gaming. We'll take a look at that. We've already kind of talked about yesterday was May the 4th be with you. So there's all kinds of Star Wars sales going on right now. And there are a ton of Star Wars games. So if you're interested, I'm not going to dive back into this. There are all kinds of Star Wars games. They're good and the bad. If you're into Star Wars or you think the games might be fun, now might be a time to dive in, try to pick up some at a bit of a discount. Yeah. So do some research. Do some research. We kind of touched on it yesterday. All the Star Wars sale stuff going on. Hightail developer shares work in progress shots of the Minecraft-like RPG. All right. Blizzard knows it's not much fun to be a support main in Overwatch 2 right now. Okay. Look, any kind of game that is based around combat, that has characters you can play that are main support type characters, developers, I feel, have a much harder time coming up with elements to throw into those characters to make them as enjoyable to play as some of the more action-packed characters that are really doing a lot of the work, I guess, as far as engaging enemies and things like that. Imagine playing as a support, right, Pinky? What's up, buddy? Good morning, dude. So I think the main thing is there that, you know, part of it has to be that if you're going to play a support type character, you've got to have that kind of mindset a little bit too. Not everybody likes playing support characters, but there's something to be said for people that like to play support characters, and a developer creating characters that are support mains in a fun and enjoyable way, right? For sure. So we'll see what's up right here. Pinky, you already diving into the reset, man? It's Lost Ark Reset Day. I know Pinky knows, but all of the rest of you, do you know? Perhaps. Uh, yeah, man. Cool, man. That's what I hopped on there real quick last night and made sure I'd already bought everything out that I needed to buy before the reset. And checked the guild and did my stronghold stuff. That was about it. That was about it last night. But I'll be in there today. I'll be in there today after stream. Xbox reveals new controller. We've already talked about the XR glasses. Check the previous days. Sent you a message. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. XR glasses. I think we hit this article 2 days ago. We talked about it yesterday as well. If you're interested, go check the previous news segments on the YouTube page, okay? Oh, you did? Oh, dude, yeah. I was like, sorry, man. Yeah, I just popped in there and was slamming some stuff out real quick. I wasn't on there very long. Sorry, man. Sorry I missed your message. I hope it wasn't important, dude. I'm sorry. Three head, man. Three head. Uh, we've already talked about Xbox games that are coming to Game Pass this month. Ones that already have. Loot River looks really cool. That came out on the 3rd, I think. And there's some more coming out today. So I don't know. We've hit those in previous segments too. So go check out the previous 2-3 days new segments on YouTube. You'll see everything you need, or look it up. You know. Former PlayStation Plus game getting a free PS5 upgrade. Let's see what this is about. Sorry, I feel bad, Pinky. I feel bad, dude. I didn't even have my headset on, dude. I just hopped in there real quick and just took care of like bare minimum stuff, basically. I was kind of busy last night. I worked out. If you can't tell, I got I got another workout in. I'm pretty proud of myself, man. I'm trying to keep this schedule going. Ah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm tired today too. That's why we need all of the Java though. Let's go. Oh yeah. Slowly making the guild more active. Cool, man. And how are you like getting that done? How's that going? We actually had a an individual join our Discord that I'm pretty sure was from the guild on Lost Ark, so that's pretty cool. Just joined up yesterday. Oh, sick, dude. That's awesome, man. Good on you, buddy. That's great. That's great. Yo, that's awesome, man. Thanks. What item level were they? We've had a lot of new people join up within the past like week and a half. It feels like, anyways. I'm not gonna dive into that right now. We already talked about the AMD laptops that are going to be coming out. AMD's making some quality chips, man. It appears. I mean, they have been for a while now. I've got one in my PC, but they're even building upon what was already they've already done very well in the Risen line. They're doing some work. They are really kind of it looks like at this point setting the bar, as it were, for especially CPU stuff in the hardware market. We already talked about this. Uh, we talked about Prime free games previously. Gaming chip shortage expected to last into 2024. Then what are these reports we were getting from Nvidia or I guess the one we saw was Asus, right? Saying they were expecting stock to get back to normal, and the word around the industry communities and everything was that it looked like supply was going to start meeting demand finally. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it will. It doesn't mean that there won't still be a shortage, but we'll see what that has to say. Let's change up our search real quick. Yeah, we already talked about Embracer Group purchasing the basically all of North America Square Enix developing satellite companies and stuff. Got Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief. I think they're even taking on Marvel's Avengers stuff. And for a measly $300 million. Yeah. Actually, that does seem pretty small compared to what a lot of other gaming industry giants, juggernauts, have paid for acquisitions of late. Yeah. AEW video game officially called AEW Fight Forever PC version and 2 new wrestlers confirmed. We'll look at that real quick. We've been keeping track. Again, having I don't necessarily play wrestling games, not that I wouldn't, but for anybody that is a fan of this genre, it's good to have another wrestling game coming out that can compete with what WWE, I think that's what it's still referred to as, is pushing out at this point. Yeah. We've already talked about the top video games and release dates for May as well. Talked about this yesterday. The Persona 5 video reveals controversial cut. Uh, I don't think there was a lot. It wasn't as juicy as I thought it was going to be, really. Talked about that in case anybody wanted any deals. Acquisitions managers being hired still, of course. Xbox creates Instagram like stories, but for video games. We'll see what that's about. We've talked about the video game market, whether it be software, hardware, console, PC, across the board. There's a lot of money just in the gaming industry to be made, right? But we also saw recently where uh, profits from the video game industry have been down. I think what was it, about 15 to 17% across the board, everything considered. Uh, all platforms, hardware, software, all that stuff. From 2021, April 2021 to April 2022, down about 15 to 17%. Crazy enough, Microsoft had their biggest, or was it Microsoft or just their Xbox? I think it was Xbox. Had their Xbox division had their biggest March or April, I think it was March, over the past 11 years at the same time. It's kind of crazy. ESM CEO Andy Din fostered culture of fear at esports. Let's see what that's about. Bungie currently the only company, games, video game company standing up for Roe versus Wade. Let's see what that's all about too. You know, Bungie's one of those companies that got acquired here recently. Got purchased by Sony. Yeah, and obviously it was, you know, a big deal for them to have a company, a dev, and a game that would be a good slot for their new subscription service, right? Destiny. So, not that that's all Bungie does, but that is what they're primarily known for right now. Yeah, we've already talked about the free to play game stuff. I've given my impressions and how I feel about that, and you can see that in previous news segments. TLDR, more people having access to games is great, but there's a good way to and a bad way, good and bad way to create free to play games. Yeah, so there are things to be a bit weary of if you're playing free to play games, but it does give more people access to video games. So, good and bad. Good and bad. Talked a lot about Netflix recently. I'm not diving into that. We talked about this yesterday. Very cool. Cool little video game place aimed at kids having like a cool, safe place to go and hang out and play games together and stuff. And while also learning about the gaming industry and development and things like that, and how to run a business at the same time. It's very cool. Very cool. Nintendo's best Wii game makes comeback. It's gonna be the sports stuff. Yeah, we'll take a look real quick. All right, let's stop there. Starting up with DDR5 finally relevant for PC gaming. Lower latencies, faster frequencies will finally make a difference to our frame rates. Memory manufacturer G.Skill has just announced that the first DDR5 memory sticks with a sub 30 CAS latency. Excuse me. The new DDR5 memory will appear under the Trident Z5 RGB, Trident Z5, and Ripjaw's S5 brands. Will be available as 32 gig, which are actually two sticks of 16 gigabyte RAM, and 64 gigs total of consisting of actual two sticks of 32 gigabyte RAM. You'll also be able to pick from the DDR5 5600 and the DDR5 5200 frequencies, with both frequencies offering a CAS latency of 28. As the latencies drop, the real-world CAS latency of these kits actually challenges the responsiveness of decent CL16 DDR kits. And that means that we should start to see a benefit in game. We've seen a push for higher frequencies recently. We need those latencies to come down as well. Yeah. So that was, yep. This release from G.Skill is great news for DDR5. As now we are getting to the point where there is a real benefit to moving to DDR5 outside of a select few synthetic benchmarks and specific high memory usage cases. Hopefully other manufacturers will soon follow suit. Throw a brief bit of maths. We're mathings this morning at things. Real world CAS latency is measured as CAS latency times 2000 divided by memory speed. Yeah, which in the case of the DDR5 would be 5600 divided by 28, right? Comes in at 10 nanoseconds. For reference, that's the same as DDR4 3200 with a CAS latency of 16. Okay. And that's considered a pretty good speed for DDR4 right there. 3216. That's decent. That's pretty decent. Okay. At this point, and with faster overall frequencies, gaming starts to benefit too. While this may only translate into a few frames per second, it helps make DDR5 a more attractive platform for gamers. Intel's 12th gen Alder Lake processors already support the newer memory standard, as well as DDR4, while AMD's Zen 4 is rumored to only support DDR5. More support should, in theory, drive demand, which in turn should drive pricing down eventually. No pricing information available for these kits yet, although you can expect G.Skill to command a premium for such enthusiast memory. Standard DDR5 generally costs twice as much as DDR4 as it is. So expect these to be expensive. Yeah, I mean, look, that's technology, right? Technology it evolves. Whenever it first comes out, I'll attribute it to something a lot of people are familiar with, which is hard drive storage, right? We had hard disk drives forever. Or the most recent iteration of evolving hard drive, anyways, is hard disk drives that were basically constructed. They're mechanically driven. Hard, storage space. They got platters of disks inside, a lot of different disks depending on the size of the hard drive. And, it's just an optical drive basically inside. A bunch of different arms with lasers on them that read and write on the platters, the disks. As a part to solid state storage, right, which has become much more commonplace nowadays in technology as a whole. HDDs are still out there. They're slowly getting phased out with solid state drives. Solid state drives are just basically the same thing as what you would consider like a thumb drive, right? It's that kind of it's just chip based storage. So no mechanical stuff inside. It's just zeros and ones, man. That's it. It's just electronic. And it's whenever it first came out, solid state drives were hugely expensive compared to HDDs, hard disk drives, right? And so it took a long time for the market to kind of get solid state drives down to a closer level of cost, right?
Now that we're friends again, is it okay if I pet you?
Wick, what's up, dude? Thanks, buddy. Crosby the goat.
Wick,
you know, I'm gonna have to like do some photoshopping now and actually make Crosby a goat, right?
Let's go Pens. Crosby the goat.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man. Good morning, dude. Thanks so much, man. Incredible amount of support, man. I appreciate it, my friend. I hope last night was better than the night before, dude. You get some more sleep or what? But it's the same thing, right? Yeah, new technology comes out. It takes a while for manufacturing all of that new technology to kind of catch up and to not be as expensive as what we had already been using. It's going to be the same way with this RAM. Apparently, G-Skill is the first one that's really pumping out production of the DDR5, so expect to see a premium if you want to get into that. Now, as we move along, more people will start producing DDR5. It'll basically end up taking over DDR4 for the most part, and it'll become commonplace, just like solid state drives have for the most part. Yeah, slept like a rock. Good, dude. I'm glad. I'm really sorry you had such a bad night the night before, man. That sucks. But I'm glad that last night was better, dude. Thanks so much. Didn't need to wake up till 6:30. Word. Cool, man. Awesome. You must be feeling good, man. That Pens win probably helped, yeah. Pens win helped. Thanks so much for the continued support, dude. I appreciate that very much. Um, here. And Wick, you shut up. Everybody, if you're not familiar with Wick, amazing friend and supporter of our community, awesome content creator and streamer himself. And if you're hanging out, you're not familiar, go throw a follow. If you're viewing this after the fact, please go check out Wick's channel. Amazing individual. Thank you. Show some of that outsider love. Yo, Mamzelle, what's up, my friend? How are you, Mamzelle? Ready for another boring day of work? I'm just kidding. Sorry. Too soon. You don't create content. Shut up. Yeah, you do. You do create content. It's just pretty cringy. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't say you don't create content. I'm sorry, Mamzelle. Wick. I'm sorry, Mamzelle. You're tired? Yeah, I'm sorry. I was a bit tired this morning, too. I worked out again. I'm trying to maintain this every other day working out thing. Get it back into hate. You create cringy content? No, you don't, dude. No, you don't. So I worked out again yesterday. It felt really good, but man, my body is not used to the working out. So it's taking its toll on me. But it was such a nice day yesterday. I did like almost all my working out just outside. It was such a nice day. So there's the DDR5 stuff. Expect to pay a premium until it becomes more commonplace in the industry, in the market, okay? Hightail developer shares work in progress shots of the Minecraft-like RPG. Development on Hightail is still very much underway. Wick, thanks again, buddy. I really appreciate it, man. A brief new glimpse of Minecraft-style sandbox Hightail has been published on LinkedIn, and it gives us a... that's a bit... People are using LinkedIn quite a bit still. This seems a bit off. Published on LinkedIn and gives us a small insight into how the game's VFX will look. Oh, you download Yoku's Island? Sick, dude. You're going to have to let me know how it is. Yeah. I want to play that very badly. Yeah, yeah. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. Andy Zibbits, Art Manager, yo, and Mamzelle and Wick. Today was reset day for Lost Ark. All right, don't forget, man. It's time to get them done again. All the weeklies. Andy Zibbits, Art Manager at Hypixel Studios, shares a reel of visual effects from the game to their LinkedIn profile, advertised a job vacancy within the VFX department at the studio. Doing some really cool stuff with VFX and Hightail. If bold, stylized effects like these are your passion, please take a look at our job posting for a senior VFX artist, the caption read. The video contains a number of clips from the game, including what looks like some kind of portal, a campfire, an explosion, combat effects, a sandstorm, fireworks, and more. OnlyFans. If you're already familiar with Minecraft-like game, you'll already know that Hightail will feature the same kind of blocky appearance and gameplay as Mojang's Phenomenon. Originally announced back in 2018, Hightail is a procedurally generated sandbox game with RPG elements that is due to release on PC, consoles, and mobile in 2023. No escaping comparisons to Minecraft due to both games having mobs, biomes, and block building aesthetics. Not to mention the fact that Hightail was created by developers from the Minecraft multiplayer server Hypixel. Why it's taking the team so long to develop the game could be down to the fact Hypixel was acquired by League of Legends studio Riot Games back in 2020, meaning the team may have been given more opportunities to develop the game and so would need more time to execute them. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yo, Wick, I did watch that TikTok of that lady like absolutely like ogre belching though. I watched that, dude. Yeah, shoot it to me in Discord. I'll take a look at it. So there we go. Hytale's new RPG, Minecraft, very Minecraft looking RPG. We'll have to keep our eyes and ears open, see what comes with that. Blizzard knows it's not much fun to be a support main in Overwatch 2 right now. Blizzard knows that support players are having a rough go of things in Overwatch 2 beta, acknowledging the class needs to become more attractive to players. While a fair few tanks and DPS heroes have had significant overhauls, supports have had their kit largely untouched. Ooh, that feels bad. It's left a role in a weird place in a 5v5 world where mobile heroes like Moira and is it Lucio have been faring pretty well in the beta. Others like Zenyatta have felt significantly less useful. Then there's Mercy, who was plain broken when the beta launched. Blizzard has already made tweaks between the alpha and beta, giving support better passive self-healing for increased survivability. Change improved their overall power and durability, and overall supports are performing well in the beta. The developer wrote in a blog post, but we know that balance is only one aspect of what makes a hero fun to play. Yeah, for sure. We have heard clearly that support players feel both tanks and damage players have more new content to enjoy and explore in this beta. That's a bit of an oversight. Support feels bad in Overwatch 2, and I don't think pros are getting the point. I've been seeing a lot of pro players on Twitter be like, "This is a hot topic, but I think support is really good." And then they'll list things each support is good at. We're not saying supports are bad; they feel absolutely horrendous to play. You're a walking target for every DPS and tank in the game. I remember a pro saying, "As Brig, just use your shield to start your passive." Yes, my shield is going to stop the Doomfist and Reaper and Tracer and even Moira and Lucucio from killing me. Then some would go on and say, just use your environment, find walls to hide behind and peek. And I think that's only valid in certain comps, like if they have a widow. Excuse me. I really don't think pros understand support from a casual perspective. Like, we all know why you don't have issues, and because all the pros play in 5 stacks, they know what they're doing and have teamwork. I'm an average player. I peaked plat in support before quitting a few years ago, so I wouldn't say I'm bad. I can land a sleep on a flanker from time to time. Do I get help from my team when I do, though? Absolutely not. Do I spam ping and get ignored when there's a whole Reaper in my face? Absolutely. I just think pros need to stop undermining the average player experiences, because pro play, casual play are not and never will be close to each other. Okay? Yeah. What's the overall solution to the current problem? Blizzard seems to think it's a matter of adding more support heroes to the roster. Longer term, we believe the most effective way to tackle this issue is to add exciting new support heroes to the game. That is part of our plans. In the near term, our hero design team is also experimenting with significant shorter lead time ideas, including new and refreshed abilities for some existing support heroes. Blizzard says some of these changes may potentially happen towards the end of the current beta, but most major changes won't make an appearance until the next test. While Blizzard itself has acknowledged that support feels a little underbaked compared to Overwatch 2's other roles, there seems to be a pretty clear divide between good heal bots and supports need better survivability. I've only had the chance to dip in for a few games myself, but as Zenyatta main, I definitely feel the absence of an off tank. It's still early days for Overwatch 2, and hopefully tweaks in future betas will make every role equally fun to play. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the point in the beta, right? Feedback and testing, and that's a large part of betas. And I already kind of hit on this before we started reading this article, but it's uh, I feel like to have fun playing a support character, you have to have a bit of an affinity for enjoying support characters traditionally. But there is definitely something to be said for the developers incorporating mechanics and skills and things like that for support type characters that make them enjoyable to play, right? So it's tough, man. I feel like it's a much tougher thing to get done on a support character than it traditionally is for like a DPS or something like that. Yeah, in most games. Xbox reveals new controller. Microsoft reveals a new color option for its standard line of Xbox X controllers. Can be ordered now on the Microsoft Store. While platforms are always a personal choice, the input or controller of said platform is usually one of the biggest influences. Many prefer a mouse and keyboard over a traditional gamepad, while some PS5 users absolutely love the DualSense and its haptic feedback options. I actually want to try a DualSense controller out pretty bad, but I had heard they're I don't know. I don't think any controllers are really made super great quality anymore. Others will always prefer the Xbox controller, which is really shown by how little the Xbox Series X controller differs from the Xbox One version. On top of that, custom and colored controllers are always popular. Some are lucky enough to win sweepstakes to get these controllers, and sometimes consoles, like the recent Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Xbox console and controller sweepstakes. Now, Microsoft has unveiled a new color for its Xbox Series X controller line. Oh, that's spicy, dude. Hey, Pinky, where's Pinky, dude? Check that noise out. Deep pink. Not just pink, this is deep pink. As seen below, this Xbox Series X controller is described as deep pink. It's a darkly shaded tone of pink, but otherwise, it is just like other standard controllers. There are the textured triggers and bumpers. Kappa. Kappa. Yeah. Uh, Again, I found it hard to find controllers anymore that my main thing is like I always went with PlayStation controllers for the longest time now. PlayStation controllers for me, and I just heard horrible stuff about the DualSense controllers when they came out. A lot of reviews were like all kinds of stick drift and button stick and buttons breaking and stuff, and I was like, I'm not gonna pay $70 for a controller to just have it automatically start stick drifting on me and stuff like that, you know. So I recently bought some of these, a couple of these, but the bumper buttons break on these consistently too. It's pretty terrible. There's just not quality in controllers anymore. Um, It'll likely be available on other shopping services like Amazon sometime soon. It's currently available on the Microsoft Store with free shipping and hassle-free returns. It's priced at $65. Wick's just out. Mam's house been trying to get you for like 10 minutes now. Of course, anyone on the market for a new Xbox Series X controller should know there are plenty of colors to choose from. Obviously, the standard carbon black has robot white, shock blue, pulse red, and electric volt color options. Prices on these will vary based on the site, but they all range from 60 to $70. You can actually, if you just shop around, use a site like Slick Deals. I've shown this site before. Uh, and if you don't need a controller right now, Slick Deals. If you just keep searching around and stuff, and again, you can just like type in controller, right? and you'll find out what they got going on here for controllers. Probably be able to show you one right there. Core wireless controller, Robot White, $45. $45. Okay. So they're saying on this site, right? They're saying on this site that you'll get these for 60 to 70. You can almost always find a sale going on somewhere where you can get these Xbox Core controllers for $40 to $45. Okay. There you go. Deep. I hate you. She's got my god. You know. Nice, nice. Former PS Plus game getting free PS5 upgrade. The PlayStation Plus game that was made available all the way back in 2016 when it first launched is soon getting a free upgrade for PS5. That title in question happens to be Fury. Oh, yeah. You know what? I own Fury, but I haven't played it yet. Which is a fast-paced action game developed by the game bakers. While Fury is getting upgraded for PS5, might be a big deal on its own, the game is actually getting some new DLC to coincide with this update. Oh. Game bakers announced this week that the new PS5 upgrade for Fury is set to roll out later this month on May 17th. This upgrade will be free for those who already own it on PS4, which means anyone who may have previously acquired the game through PS Plus will be able to attain the next-gen version of the title. In addition, this update will also add the previous One More Fight DLC for Fury for free to all users. Cool, man. It looks like a pretty cool game. It's like what? It's like a top-down, like action-based. Is it a roguelite or is it just kind of like a Souls-like bullet hell kind of game? It's pretty cool. As mentioned, this update is just one element of Fury's new content as a DLC pack entitled Onimusha, which will also be arriving on May 17th. DLC will add a new playable character called the Onimusha Rider that can be used in all game modes with Fury. So, Onimusha will retail for only $7 US, and will be available on PS, PlayStation, Switch, and PC platforms. It's worth noting that even though Fury is also on Xbox One, the game won't be getting upgraded for Xbox Series X, nor will it receive this new DLC. The reason for this is because the game makers has said that the title wasn't as popular enough on Xbox to allow them to dedicate resources to supporting this platform with the new content. Although the studio didn't make this clear, it seems likely that Fury found a larger audience on PS4 in large part thanks to PlayStation Plus. So if you're someone who has been subscribed to PS Plus for a long period of time, at this point, this new PS5 upgrade is definitely a welcome surprise. Okay. Yeah. If you're not familiar with Fury, I'll pull it up real quick so you know what's going on here. Where is it? Yeah, I know I have this game. There it is. Fury. Yeah. So, not support, man. Go back. Go back. Store page. So, action, difficult. So probably like more Souls that it would be attributed to being Souls like. Single player. But this is basically it. Hold on, man. Dude, this Steam app, I just need to get in the habit of restarting it every single day before I start up the stream. It is at the point now where it never fails. I can't leave the app open from day to day without it taking a dump on me and not being able to full screen anything. It's terrible. I have to literally shut the entire program down, start it back up. All right. Yeah, so you can see like the bullet hell element of it, right? I mean, I own it. I've never played it, but I would love to play it sometime before too long. It's in my possible upcoming streams Steam category of games. So from what I understand, there's a lot of like boss fights in it and stuff like that, which is really neat. It looks pretty cool. Should have just asked. She's gonna. Okay. Okay. Give me a second. I'll take a look. I'll take a look. All right. Gaming chip shortage. I'll take a look at it. Finish up this news stuff real quick. I'll take a look. Gaming chip shortage expected to last into 2024. It's cringe content to be expected, Wick. That's why I love you, dude. Yeah, all right, I'll check it out. Bad news for gamers as executives expect a chip shortage affecting the gaming industry and numerous other industries to continue well throughout this year and into 2024. Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger shared his opinion on the shortage during a CNBC interview, saying he doesn't expect it to end anytime soon. We believe I hate this, man. We believe the overall semiconductor shortage will now drift into 2024. Gelsinger told CNBC. Beyond the gaming world, many have been affected by the strain of parts in the last 2 years, including car manufacturing. Yes, I mean trucks in the U.S. You laughed so much seeing it again. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Thanks, guys. Trucks in the U.S. We're talking trucks with like 150 to 200,000 miles on them. Not close to being a new vehicle. Are going for like an absurd amount of money. Absurd because of the chip shortage. Can't manufacture any new trucks. So people are just losing their minds and paying double, triple what certain vehicles are worth used. Traditionally worth, anyways. The shortage was believed to drag into 2023 after a tough 2 years for the industries that depend on the part. And Gelsinger had agreed with these predictions during an earnings call last July and in October of 2021. Now the shortage will continue to create supply chain issues for consoles like PS5, Xbox Series X, and desktop computers, as well as cars and other types of tech. Gelsinger shared that Intel is working hard to meet demand with their own chips and are almost keeping pace. Not every other company is following suit. Global Foundries Inc., a contract chip manufacturer, is one of those companies not expecting the shortage to end anytime soon. There's this wishful thinking that by the end of 2022, supply will be balanced with demand. I just don't see it, said CEO Tom Caulfield. Others in the industry shared the same sentiment. Ganesh Moorthy, the CEO of Microchip Technology Inc., the maker of the microcontroller chips that work in all kinds of devices, including chip-making equipment, shared that the demand is so high the work isn't stopping. Demand has not come to the point where it is giving us a chance to dig out of the hole. Mr. Moorthy of Microchip said, the hole just gets deeper every quarter. Everything is being built with microchips nowadays, right? So how you can't expect to keep up if everything being created nowadays it is good, probably both goof and good. All right. How everything has computer chips, microchips in them nowadays, and they're like the work doesn't stop. Well, that's because more and more things are being created with chips in them, right? So I don't know. AEW video game officially can't called. I mean, so basically, let's just plan on the chip shortage continuing through next year, I guess. Apparently, AEW video game officially called AEW Fight Forever PC version and 2 new wrestlers confirmed. Again, we've talked about this game before. There's a little bit of a new news for it. I think it's good for the wrestling genre of video games. Have a bit of competition in there. For the longest time now, there's really only been like one game, and it hasn't always been released in a great quality from what I understand. So a new wrestling game perhaps could be good for competition in the industry, gaming industry. Latest live stream from AEW Games has confirmed a few new details. All Elite Wrestling has revealed new details on its upcoming console wrestling game, including confirmation of the game's official title, AEW Fight Forever. The name was confirmed by AEW wrestler Evil Uno during an official AEW Games live stream on Twitch. Uno also confirmed that while the game is coming to consoles, there will be a PC version available at launch. I've got to see this. New footage of the game has shown, including trailers revealing two new wrestlers, Chris Statlander and Nyla Rose from the AEW Women's Division. Previous wrestlers confirmed for the game include AEW World Champion Kenny Omega, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, former AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida. AEW Fight Forever is the first game from All Elite Wrestling, the new wrestling promotion that began in 2019. Slated to launch in 2022 for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, and PC. Okay, there you go. If you're into the wrestling game stuff. Xbox creates Instagram-like stories, but for video games. Microsoft announced that Xbox fans will now be able to share their gaming moments in the form of stories on the Xbox app for iOS and Android. Are they trying to do the same thing that Hover's doing? Is that what this is, kind of? The latest update came out on Tuesday, but it's only available in Australia at the moment, with other regions expected to receive it soon. Basically, the video game version of Instagram or Snapchat, which introduced the stories format first. I guess Hover's more like not stories as much as just clips, right? So, to start creating stories, users can press the plus button on their profile picture located in the stories channel in the middle of the Xbox app's home screen. From there, they can select any gameplay clip, screenshot, or achievement from the gallery to share with their friends, then add a caption describing the moment they screen grabbed or the challenge they've accomplished. Once shared, the stories will be shown on the profile for 72 hours, which is triple what the limit is on Instagram and Snapchat. When Snapchat was born in 2011, I think she was just thinking about it, dude. I think. When Snapchat was born in 2011, it gave birth to the social media trend of sharing photos and videos in a slideshow format for their friends to see for 24 hours, hence stories. Over the years, stories became so popular, Instagram, its parent company, Facebook, and now Meta, Fluffy Rainbow Kitten Vomit, whatever you want to call that company, you know what I mean? Even YouTube adopted the format to add flavor to the platform that otherwise only allowed people to post photos and videos that would stay on their profile forever, unless, of course, they take them down or archive them for a variety of reasons. Oh, that's why? She thinks about me. Yeah, thanks, Mamzelle. Yeah, there we go. She's proving me right and you wrong. That's all I need. Thank you, Mamzelle. My friend. In 2020, Twitter put a spin on stories and called it Fleets, but that feature only lasted 8 months after mixed reactions from users. You guys are wild. Now the stories have expanded to the gaming sphere. The feature on the Xbox app will be a boon for streamers to promote their content and their channels even further. If they can share gameplay footage and screenshots on their Instagram stories, chances are they'll share that content on the Xbox app's stories as well. All right, well, there we go. Flattered. The 7. Catch up with the news in minutes. That's not the title that we wanted. At TSM and Blitz, staff describes toxic workplace and volatile CEO. Here's just another iteration of what we've seen a lot across the industry, right? In March 2021, employees at the esports organization TSM were summoned to a virtual all-hands meeting to discuss the termination of the company's recently hired head of human resources. When the new executive was brought on board, employees' early reaction was positive. Everyone was super excited to finally have someone in HR who seemed to really understand the employees, said one former TSM employee. I know, I'm sorry, Mamzo. I'm sorry. Here. Again, I'm not... Is this TikTok? Is this Whose TikTok is this? Oh, this is it's a Twitch clip. Is it so? No, that's you. So I can actually like. Well, you guys kept talking about TikTok. I thought, were you not? Oh no, you were talking about OnlyFans. Yeah, yeah. What TikTok? Yeah, see, that's why I thought it was a TikTok because it was being referred to as a TikTok in the first place. Yeah, I see. It's a Twitch clip. It's a Twitch clip. Is it good to watch? Are we good to watch on here, or am I gonna? Should I watch it on my phone? In March 2021. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. We'll promote our buddy Wick here for a second. Let's take a look at this real quick. See what this is. Hold on. What? Hold on. What is this, dude? So this is our buddy Wick, by the way. I shouted him out a little bit ago in chat. You should be able to grab the link. Let's see what's going on here. It was on TikTok at some point, was it? How long ago was this?
This is his OnlyFans room.
Did you know that this was here?
I knew he was buying a bunch of fans because he has them in his mailbox. When I didn't know what he was doing with them all.
It's an OnlyFans room, chat.
That is hilarious, dude.
He's putting OnlyFans in the room.
I'm sweating.
That's fantastic.
That is so funny,
It's
dude.
fantastic.
Whose room is this?
Like
An
buying
OnlyFans
his
room
mailbox,
for a
and I was like, I'll
12-year-old. This is fantastic. The fact
Whose
that the
room
kid
is
thought
this?
to do this is amazing. It's amazing. I might clip
don't
this
know.
and save
He's
this
not
because
riding the bus anymore.
this is who taught him OnlyFans?
It's one of your community members?
This is the OnlyFans
Dude, that is
room.
hilarious. Holy crap. Her Animal Crossing? Well, yeah, I knew it was Animal Crossing. Yeah, I figured it was somebody's island you knew. I wasn't sure if I knew who it was. She let her son make a house and he made an OnlyFans room. You did, island tours and stuff. Dude, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh, dude, that's great. That's great. Thanks, guys. I needed that. That's awesome. That's funny, man. See, not cringe, dude. Not cringe. That was great. In March of 2021, employees at the esports organization TSM were summoned. Yep. Yeah, it's so fun. That's so funny, man. When the new executive was brought on board, employees' early reaction was positive. Everyone was super, super excited to finally have someone in HR who seemed to really understand the employees, said one former TSM employee. Just weeks after the new executive assumed his role as head of people operations, TSM's human resources analog, employees learned that he had been let go after an apparent disagreement with Andy Den. Thanks for sharing that, by the way. That was fantastic. The organization's CEO and founder, over a recruitment practice, the new executive wanted to implement. During a question and answer portion of the all-hands call, one employee asked Den to explain what had prompted the firing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was when Andy told the whole company that the HR person was let go because he asked a question that Andy didn't like. Said a former TSM employee. I think he kind of realized how ridiculous it sounded, so he followed up with by saying, well, he asked 2 questions that I didn't like. Because that makes it better. No one wants to ask any questions after that. Since 2009, Den has built TSM into one of the premier esports organizations in the world. Nice, Mamzelle. I love it. Competing in a variety of esports and partnering with popular streamers, TSM was labeled by Forbes as the most valuable esports organization at an estimated $410 million in 2020. Following year, the company inked a 10-year naming rights deal with cryptocurrency exchange FTX for $210 million. However, allegations of workplace abuse have long circulated around the 30-year-old founder. In videos dating back almost a decade, Den can be seen yelling at TSM esports athletes. That behavior extended far beyond the esports teams, though, according to over a dozen current and former employees of companies founded and run by Den who spoke with the Washington Post. Members of teams ranging from sales to promoting to programming to content said they witnessed other workers get called out by Den in calls or intra-office chat rooms and publicly shamed. Some said they experienced that treatment firsthand. Excuse me. Nobody wanted to be in a one-on-one meeting with Den because you had no witnesses, said Anthony Barnes, former senior program manager at Blitz. Yo, Mamzelle, I hope you have a good day. Hopefully we'll see you later, during some breaks or something. Thanks so much for being here always, and for the laugh, for making sure we got to see that clip this morning. That's great. Who knew if Andy was going to scream or yell at you, degrade you, or be friendly, or just be confused or inquisitive? I need to shout out Mamzelle too. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. If you're not familiar with Mamzelle, she's amazing as well. So go check out Mamzelle's channel as well. Show some of that community and outsider love, man. Mamzelle, thank you. Have a good day at work. Who knew if Andy was going to scream or yell at you, degrade you, be friendly, or just be confused or inquisitive? You weren't sure what Andy you were going to get, but the more people in the call, the more likely Andy wasn't going to be a complete volcano. Furthermore, multiple workers at Los Angeles-based TSM and Blitz, a company co-founded by Den that develops a coaching and statistics tracking app for gamers, believe they were misclassified as contractors rather than employees. The distinction between employees and contractors defines, among other things, how a worker is paid and the benefits to which they're entitled, as well as what taxes are owed by the employer. Misclassifying employees as contractors in turn would run afoul of California employment laws, which are some of the strictest in the U.S., according to legal experts. We won't be commenting on confidential personnel issues, especially complaints made by anonymous individuals who feel they were misclassified in their employment status. TSM and Blitz spokesperson Jillian Sheldon told the Post. Late last year, both Riot Games, which operates League of Legends esports, and TSM began separate investigations into allegations of bullying and verbal abuse made against Den, as first reported by Wired. The investigations began shortly after Yiliang Doublelift Ping, a former star player at the organization, described Den as a bully who gets away with being a bad person because he's powerful in a live stream. Bobby Kotick, I think, would fall into that as well from everything I know about Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision Blizzard, He needs to be ousted, as far as I'm concerned. Everything I know about that individual is the same. Same thing. So, most of the employees who spoke with the Post did so on the condition of anonymity, citing fear of retaliation. Many specifically highlighted fear of reprisal from Den, citing his temperament and influence in the esports industry. TSM shared a statement with the Post, echoing its statement to Wired in January. As we stated publicly late last year, upon learning of allegations against Mr. Den, TSM immediately hired an independent investigator to begin a thorough internal investigation, reads the statement. Andy recused himself from any oversight of the scope, nature, and conclusions of the investigation. Those results are pending. Until finalized, we can't comment on specifics. Some workers at TSM and Blitz told the Post they had made a policy of not speaking in meetings with Den for fear of angering him. On several occasions, the targets of Den's outburst, which often included high-ranking staff at the company, were fired or departed shortly thereafter, throwing projects and entire teams into flux. According to numerous former TSM and Blitz employees, Sheldon said TSM could not comment on these departures since they related to confidential internal personnel matters. The number of executives that were let go is massive, one former TSM employee said. If I was a VP, I would not want to be working there. The result of these departures, that former TSM employee said, was a culture of fear fostered by the young CEO. In response to questions sent by the Post, TSM shared Din's statement to Wired, which was published in January. I have exceedingly high expectations for myself, and I share those same high expectations with everyone I work with, reads the statement. I have zero tolerance for underperformance. I am intense, passionate, driven, and relentless in the pursuit of winning. It's my nature. I set an extremely high bar, and when I feel that someone is not delivering, I directly and bluntly share that feedback. I do acknowledge that when I look back, my vocabulary was at times too harsh and ineffective. I know I need to work on my delivery. I'm working to improve the way I communicate with my team and those around me. I support and am fully cooperating with the independent investigations that are already underway and will gladly embrace any recommendations from the investigators. The statement rankled some TSM employees. It's funny that his most recent quote was, I have high expectations, because I think his expectations are just ridiculous, said a former TSM employee. Andy would come in after everyone would work super hard and just say, that's not what I want. We're basically chasing after this goal of trying to read his mind. It was honestly one of the worst run companies I've ever been in, Barnes said. So that's Din right there. So we'll stop with that. This is a very, very long article. We get the gist of what's happening here, though. If you're interested, there's the rest of the article. Feels bad. It seems like a pretty not fun place to work, yeah? Look, there's nothing wrong with being passionate and driven and wanting to succeed in what you do. People should feel that way, right? But there are good and bad ways to go about getting quality production from the people that work for you. I can tell you that this kind of attitude and the way that apparently Din had gone about things is not going to work. It's going to almost always is going to happen what exactly happened here. Employees are going to get scared. They production is actually going to go down because it's just not a good cohesive work environment where communication is flowing up and down very well, right? Everybody's afraid to talk. It's just not going to work. You try to cultivate a workplace environment where people feel open to sharing ideas, feel like they are cared for and taken care of, where people actually enjoy going to work, enjoy performing their job. That's where you see production levels and quality of production increase, right? Not this kind of stuff. So there's the rest of the article if you're interested, okay? Well, this is offset a bit for us, but I'll do my best for you here. Bungie is currently the only video game company standing up for Roe versus Wade. Story rounding up all video game companies voicing their support of abortion rights in wake of the leaked Supreme Court documents about overturning Roe versus Wade. Since the news broke late on the night of May 2nd, we thought we'd wait a day to see which companies show up to protect reproductive rights. Turned out that no one came out to the party except for Bungie, the developers of Destiny 2, among some other things. Bungie's full-throated support of the issue is great, but at the same time, the conspicuous silence on the part of other developers and publishers is massively disappointing. On May 3rd, the studio posted a blog supporting the right to choose, calling the possible decision to overturn Roe v. Wade a direct attack on human rights. At Bungie, we believe that everyone has a right to choose their own path and that freedom is expressed across all facets of life, read the post. That the leaked draft decision by U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade represents a blow to freedom in America. You know, I appreciate seeing companies not being afraid to stand up for the things they believe in. And I think a lot of companies probably agree with Bungie on this front, but are scared to show publicly that they do support this stance for fear of retaliation in losing consumer base and maybe losing some partners in business and things like that. Yeah. There's something to be said for companies that have standards of morals and ethics and things like that. I mean, just like we talked about Netflix recently pulling out of Russia completely to support Ukraine. Again, I wonder if there was a better way to go about that, because not everybody in Russia is for the war, right? A lot of people, a lot of the population in Russia are just being, they're being affected by this, even though they're not for the war. So I wonder if there was any way for Netflix to maybe go about it a bit different and say that, they would continue providing subscription services to Russian citizens, and that a large portion, if not all of the proceeds, I mean, why not all of the proceeds if they pulled out completely, would go to helping Ukraine, relief efforts or whatever in Ukraine. I don't know. But again, Netflix took a stand. They said because they don't support what Russia had done and in invading Ukraine, they pulled out completely. So it's good to see some companies take a stand and do what seems right, and not be afraid to let others know their stance on certain issues and things like that, right? The company highlighted that the decision would create a divide between those who possess the fundamental rights to make healthcare decisions that are right for them and those who do not possess the same freedom. The Post asserts that those with a uterus and others relying on services supported by Roe v. Wade would suffer far-reaching consequences that will be felt for generations across socio-economic lines. Roe v. Wade is the ruling that defines the right to abortion as a constitutional one. If it were to be overturned, dozens of states will quickly enact trigger laws to make abortion illegal or extremely difficult to obtain, with potential criminal penalties for patients and doctors. So here's a tweet from an individual that goes by the handle of L Geezy, I don't know, on Twitter. Literally, this is just sad. You as a gaming company, referring to Bungie, are really going to start choosing a side when you shouldn't even be involved in this bunch of political BS. As a gaming company, your focus should be how to appease people with your games, not your opinions. Don't. Seriously. And Bungie's reply to this individual was, "We've chosen our side. It wasn't difficult. Our company values exist beyond our games." And I don't see anything wrong with that. But it's again, it's going to go back to what I talked about before. They're as a company deciding to stand up for what the company believes in, as far as especially when it comes to political agendas and things like that. It's going to throw people off, as we see. I mean, I just talked about this, right? I didn't mean to do that. Stop it. So I think that it's an admirable thing to have companies understanding that they are putting themselves in a position to, I guess, potentially throw a lot of people off, lose some fan base, some consumer base, but be true to their morals and ethics, right? And let people know where their values lie. I don't know. Standing up for reproductive choice and liberty is not a difficult decision to make. Bungie remains dedicated to upholding these values, the company said in the blog's accompanying tweet. Or this was the reply to their tweet. Yeah, I guess. They also shared links to several organizations that support rights to healthcare for those interested in making a donation. I was a bit hesitant to hop into this article because I knew what it was going to be about, and our channel here this is not a political channel. I don't want people getting into political debates. And there's too much controversy that comes along with it. It seems like people just have such a hard time nowadays being okay with other people not believing or viewing the same thing as them. They get very hostile very quick. What we want in this community is to be civil about things, right? It's okay to not believe the same thing. It's okay to have different views and beliefs as long as you can be civil about it. And most people just can't, especially when it comes to things like topics such as religion or politics. People seem to have a very, very hard time just accepting the fact that anybody can be different than them and that's okay. They don't believe that. A lot of people don't. And that's why I try to stay away from a lot of those topics in this channel because many, many people just can't handle that fact. They can't remain civil about it, and which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. These organizations will continue to support contraceptive and reproductive procedures, even if Roe versus Wade is overturned. They will be fundamental to supporting those affected, along with the many organizations supporting reproductive choice. It's easy to write these kinds of social media solidarity statements as public stunts or virtue signaling. The past couple of days have been very revealing about companies' reticence to talk about the rights to choose. Right now, Bungie's the only one fielding the punches. You've got to feel for the community managers dealing with these belligerent comments. Yeah. Again, they knew what they were going to be in for, but they went for it anyways because they have a foundation for the company that's obviously built on strong, values, beliefs, morals, ethics, things like that within this corporation, and they were willing to put up with it. Yeah. And see, I feel I disagree. Like this individual that goes by Black Toppings, y'all need to stop politics. Y'all, first of all, what great word. I'm not a fan of that word. Y'all need a. Yeah, I mean you see this right. Y'all need a stop politics. It's not a business standpoint nor a game standpoint. It's irrelevant to what y'all do. It's very relevant. Bungie replied, "It's very relevant to the lives of our employees. We will never stop." Right. I find it disheartening that so many, that individuals have this kind of attitude towards it to where they don't feel like a company should have values or views or beliefs and they shouldn't be shared. You know, and this is where it's at, right? Like, I feel like the people that are coming at Bungie like this, they disagree with the decision, and they just they can't stand the fact that somebody has a different view on this situation than they do. So they come at it at a very kind of, I don't know, hateful kind of attitude towards it, right? Instead of trying to understand other people's points of view and maybe try to talk about it or whatever, it's just, you guys should stop. That's, you know, and again, I feel it's a very good thing to for a company to be very clear about their views and beliefs and their values and things like that. I feel like that's very important. So good on Bungie. Good on Bungie. Instead of backing down, Bungie held its ground as commenters argued to keep politics out of its social feed. Chosen our side, it wasn't difficult. Our company values exist beyond our games. Bungie replied to the dissenter. Here's another thing. Look, if people, companies, whatever, if you don't have some kind of voice about certain things going on in your world and the forces that be that can kind of control your world in some form or fashion, it'll just continue to get exacerbated. There won't ever be any pushback, right? They'll just continue to, do more and more, lock you down more and more, and there needs to be voice. There needs to be voice to actually work our way through these kinds of issues. And again, I would prompt individuals to just take a step back and try to see things from multiple points of views and be civil about it. But don't try to hold people down necessarily. Now, look, you guys know that I'm very passionate as well about the fact that, like, I'm not for any kind of views, stances, beliefs that encourage violence or hate, toxicity, things like that. That's not what I'm talking about. That's an entirely different situation that I'm totally against. But being able to talk about these kinds of social issues and everything, and see companies actually take a stand for their values and beliefs, I think is a good thing. It's hard to say that I'm shocked. The games industry can often seem like a conference room of apes spinning a carnival wheel to decide how they'll disappoint marginalized groups today. Last few years have seen a never-ending cascade of scandals involving workplace toxicity and sexual harassment. Yeah, but it's still deeply disappointing to see these companies keep quiet when many of them gladly supported Ukraine in the war against Russia. Many of them, like Sony and Microsoft, also took a stand for the Black Lives Matter movement last year. However, when it comes to bodily autonomy, the room is all too silent. For the record, Bungie frequently supports causes that help POC, LGBTQA, and disabled gamers. If it's a corporate ploy, it's an impressively consistent one. I have new respect for Bungie. New respect for Bungie. So, good on Bungie for standing up for their values. Yep. Nintendo's best Wii game makes a comeback. Remember bowling in your living room more than 15 years ago? Wii Sports was an instant hit thanks to its unique twist on playing video games. Now a version of the game is back for the Switch. Nintendo Switch Sports lets you play bowling, tennis, soccer, volleyball, badminton, and sword fighting. Hard to believe it's been some 15 years since the original. At the time, normal console video games had a controller with 2 joysticks and a D-pad and a ton of buttons, and something that was really simple and invited everybody into video games, explained Christopher Plant, editor-in-chief of the gaming site Polygon. I think Switch Sports is going to be a hit, said Plant. Now, the game takes advantage of the unique detachable motion-sensitive controllers on the Switch called Joy-Con. They translate real-world movements into on-screen play. This version is slicker than the original, with more customizable characters and regular updates. It's just still very fun to pretend to bowl in your living room, added Plant. For the first time, you can play online, so you can compete with friends, family members, or just complete strangers. When you play online, you'll unlock new features or costumes or accessories. You can get a new hat or a new face mask, which is a very 2022 thing, said Plant. There are 6 sports in all. We brought those up. I tried them all. Bowling is still my favorite, followed by tennis and badminton. Shambara and volleyball are the trickiest to get the hang of. They all get you to smile, move, and off the couch, and the experience is instant fun for the entire family with almost 0 learning curve. Just don't throw your controller into the TV. Use those wrist straps, baby. Especially since these Joy-Cons don't have... Wait, what? What? Especially since these Joy-Cons don't have the wristband already on it. I wouldn't be surprised if a few people destroy some really nice TVs in the upcoming... No wrist straps? Just be sure to attach the included safety wristband before you start playing. Huh. Switch Sports is available now for $40 for the digital download you can access through the Nintendo eShop. $50 gets you a box version which includes a leg strap for better soccer play. And Nintendo says golf will be added in a free update this fall. Cool, man. Yeah, I love playing Wii Sports. It was a lot of fun. We played it a lot, like just as a family and everything. So it's very cool. Very cool. Anybody have anything to add before we move on to our gaming segment? Oh, the stretch. Dude, I'm sore. I'm sore. Good night. Man. All right. So we will be moving on to Hand of Fate 2, Day 2, right? Thanks to everybody who's always here, part of what we do. Thanks for hanging out during the news segment. If you are either not moving on to Hand of Fate 2 gaming segment with us, or if you are viewing this as a video after it has been live, then stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. And if you are viewing this on YouTube, do me a favor, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Maybe leave me a comment so we can discuss some of what we went over today. And I'll do my best to reply as soon as possible. Other than that, we'll be moving on. And hopefully we will catch you tomorrow for the next edition of Gaming News. All right?